I thought you'd be here. The others were wondering where you slipped off to this time. Busy again, I see. How about a break? You noticed. Yes. I was finally able to find and put up all the maps. Fia was quite persistent with that little request. Some were incredibly hard to locate, not to mention bargain for. Well, at first, I thought they were going to be a rather unflattering addition to the tavern's interior, but now I should say it looks quite fitting. Wouldn't you agree, Cyrus? Oh, that one. What about it? You think so? Well, the truth is, I made it. I did! The one of our town. Home. It's mine. Well, we don't really need it. Fia did say it took up some necessary space. But still, you never know. You never know. I'm rather proud of it, to be honest. The effort certainly shows. Worth it? Well, in the evenings, I've noticed that some of my customers, travelers, would glance over at all the maps and then mine. Some have inquired on the maker, as they thought it was so professionally done. They were quite charming. One in particular, they almost looked just like that. But let's not go into that. What were you saying? Yes, it is all there. The town hall, the hat shop, library, grape farm, boutique, and the farm, all the way there. And we're right here. We're here. You noticed that as well, huh? I would have expected nothing else from you. Oh, before I go, I've prepared you a drink. Just in case I needed to bribe you out of hiding. Your usual go-to. Now, how are things progressing with the...
There you two are. I was beginning to think that I'll be waiting until the winds change. But I assume you two are here because you've heard the news. Really? How unfortunate. I had hoped I wouldn't be the one to deliver the news, especially with how things are going right now. Unfortunately, His Majesty and the new court have decided to... Indeed, it is a great inconvenience. But one can say it's an expected reaction. We did predict something like that was going to be set in motion. After the last episode... It was risky, Cyrus. You played with luck too loosely.
But it worked. Flawless, even. And it gave us time. I mean, without it, the others wouldn't have been able to finally find those records. You finally have it. I owe Kendricks a drink with this.
Yes, I'm sure you're fully aware of your instructions.
I know, Prof. Keep your hat on. Don't want to cause any more bolding.
That girl. Her name fits. Oh, I finally have your results, Cyrus. I know you've waited quite some time. Apologize for the delay. Well, the test was done on everyone as instructed, but Miss Fiat told me that yours in particular should be done. Yes, no, there's no need for that. Here you are. No, I haven't looked. I promised you and Miss Fia I wouldn't. That information is yours, as everyone else's is theirs. Some chose to disclose their results with me. It is a rather grave matter, but I swore secrecy. Is something the matter, Cyrus? I could practically feel your pulse quicken. No, there shouldn't be any errors, I assure you. You look unwell. What is it? Dear gods above, I sincerely apologized. I promised I wouldn't look, but this is impossible. If they find out, if anyone found out of all the possible outcomes, this should have been unattainable. No, I had my many theories, but as you are a close associate of mine, and an importance to the Flicker, I made sure to have my doubts, and many of them, but this information is dangerous. I don't think I can do this. Miss Fia and the others will have to forgive me, and I hope you will too.
Morning? Whoa. Are you alright? Rough night, huh? Nightmares. Come on, there's no need to be like that. If there was anyone who knew of our predicament, they'd say it's expected. I can't say. Perhaps I did and then forgot. Weird how that happens. Anyways, what did your dream consist of? Memories, of course. Care to indulge me? They came in waves. So yours did too. No, continue. The bar lady? Are you certain? I shouldn't have sounded so surprised. She is incredibly suspicious. I mean, the note, handling our drinks in this room. Generosity always comes with a price, one way or another. Yeah, she didn't drug or poison our drinks, and there's the fact that she offered assistance, shelter. I know, but I'm not fully convinced to consider her an ally. Not yet. Sorry, do go on. Maps. Right, there were a lot. I remember seeing them last night on the far end wall. And she made one of them? Impressive. I believe I remember seeing it. It's the one of this town, isn't it? It seemed professionally made. Seems like she has quite the keen eye. Yeah, that name seems to be popping up a lot. Guess she must have been an important factor to us and this so-called... what, resistance? Rebel group? So then what? Now that sounds like a nightmare. But you found a door that opened to... an old man. Alive or dead? Really? What did he look like? Sounds like a kook. Now that sounds far-fetched. True, but still, you believe that that man was Professor Helfisk? But that just raises so many more questions. I was there too? Uh-huh. What was this conversation about? Results of what? Hey, are you okay? Fine, you don't have to tell me. I won't push. Hungry. Well, I guess it is breakfast. God, now that you mentioned it, I could eat. Let's go down, shall we? Well, look who we have here. It's just past sunrise. Isn't it a bit early for you, miss? I assume you were working late last night. Is there no one else to take your shift? Not that your presence isn't a welcoming sight. Hey, what? You think so too?
Oh, you two. No, it's only me. It always has been. Well, finding helpers or waiters has proven to be rather unsuccessful due to the, well, I'm sure you've noticed the damages. Anyways, would you like some breakfast? It is a bit early, but if you're hungry, then I can make, I could prepare something for the two of you. There's our sunrise combo of eggs and bacon with tomato paste, sausages, and potatoes, or if you prefer something sweet, we have Valinora, which is a sweet pastry with a tartish berry filling. Though if you would like something else in particular, I'd be happy to try and recreate it, though of course you'll need to tell me about the ingredients, and we need to see if we actually have it. Stocks have been on the verge the last couple of days, but I can look and grab a few things out.
Quite skittish, isn't she? Yeah, if it's not too much trouble. Anything's fine. You choose. And there she goes. She is a strange one. True. She sure has a lot on her plate. As do we. You know, without any of those stickless pricks causing a riot like a bunch of drunk elephants, this place is rather charming. The rustic is almost nostalgic. Hey, look. There's the maps you were mentioning. Sure. We can take a look. Might find something. I doubt it, but who knows? There are quite a lot. Oh, of course they'd have one of the main. The spoilt child of His Majesty, Zuri Heights. And more towns, outskirt locations no one even knows the name of. Huh? That one must be the one she made. Of this town. It's so detailed. Everything, from the number of roads and individual houses, all drawn with such precision. The penwork is so fine. And how could someone like she afford such delicate parchment? This must have taken days at least. And to have such concentration in this environment. Something else has caught your attention. underneath. Oh my god. It's huge. Is this all of... What do you think is with the little red dots in the circled areas? There's no legend, but if there's a circle, there are a few dots surrounding it. Perhaps they're just areas she's visited, or... What's the matter? The flicker. The flicker. Nothing. Look, the forest. Here, right here. You think that's where we were? It's circled, and there's so many more of those red dots around it. Pretty sure we've established nothing is a coincidence. So great. Just one mystery after another. Just what we need. Crap. Quick, back to the table. Oh, wow. That looks divine. Thank you so much. How much do I owe you? And please, your generosity is too much.
That's not a problem. Please don't concern yourself with payment. It isn't a problem at all, Val, miss. Please?
Before you leave, could you answer a little question for me, if that's all right?
Sure? What is
It's
it?
probably nothing, and it's possible I might have just miraculously imagined it, but why did you give us that slip of paper last night?
What are you talking about? I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
The slip of paper you gave to us last night. You may argue that it could have been someone else, and while I had a cup in hand, I was not that tipsy to forget a face. Not when that face recognized mine, so let's not pretend like this didn't happen. Clear the confusion, as they say.
No. Well, I mean, yes, I did give it to you, but only because it fell out of your pocket, miss, and we are strangers. I bet it would have been wonderful to meet you earlier in life, but no, I simply wanted to return it. No, I just thought it was a note that your friend, companion, wrote to herself, or for you. No, I didn't read its contents. It's against tavern policy for the staff and customer to be invasive in others' privacy. Well, some customers will ignore it. They'll tell or show you the most, curious things, whether you like it or not. But you cannot stop them, and it's best not to risk the likely possible outcome. But still, it's rather interesting, hearing about the lives and adventures of others, particularly travelers. It's a smallish village, so not much goes on, but I've come to grasp that even the little things can be turned into the most obscure stories, and wanderers are, well, is Val, your companion, always like that? I see. Though I'd love to know how you and her wandered into our little area. Perhaps later at lunch or dinner you could indulge me? I'm sure you have quite the many stories to share.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Though, one more question, if that's okay, miss.
Alicia. And sure.
Miss Alicia, would you care to tell us if you know of a Professor Helfisk?
Well, he was a traveler who somehow wandered here and was convinced to stay for a while. Many considered him a kook when he arrived. He did have a certain way of speaking, and his presence was altogether something else entirely. He said he was searching for something, or rather, researching it, and tracking its whereabouts. I can't recall. But he was quite intelligent and wrote many books while he was here too, and surprisingly sold some. Though I believe some only bought them just to laugh. But the town did collectively have quite a few. Though after the fires and all, I doubt there are any remaining. Perhaps they'd be hard to find, though. What did you say? A journal? No. From memory, he only wrote autobiographies of his adventures or a collection of his studies, though, like I said, no one really knows what they were about. Perhaps he did. Must have been rather rare. I should be going back to the kitchen. We're about to open for breakfast. Good luck, you two. I do wish that you find what you're looking for.
Yeah. Thanks. We'll be on our way. Well, that was helpful. How so? Look, I get she's busy with running a whole damn tavern, but still, no location or actual explanation of the journal. She knew exactly what we were referring to, and still, nothing. All I could really gather and confirm useful was the information of the kooky author, who may at this point be dead. This isn't going anywhere to helping us. His books. What do you mean? I mean, that's a possibility, but are you serious? Well, for starters, there's a likely chance that there aren't any bookshops or libraries, or at least ones that remain in good condition and have any books left, let alone ones that aren't half-burnt. I suppose you make a good point. There could always be something the town may have left, but given the events, it seems highly unlikely. Fine. You've convinced me. But where? The map. Oh my gods, the map. So this town has 3 bookstores. All separated, one next to a simple yet incredibly dull-named cafe. Another near what they call a school, or rather a small one, and the last one's... it's nearby. I'll go and investigate those. Why don't you go to the library? It may be the furthest away, but you can manage. Oh, while you're on your way, you can ask about. Surely the locals will have a word or two about him. I'll meet you there. Well, I have a hunch that my visits won't take too long. Good luck. And remember, at this point, any information is good. Be careful. See you there.
Hey? That old loon. Why do you want to look for him? Ain't no point. He's dead, isn't he? Either that, or he's too far in his madness and has run off. Who knows? No point searching, though. Not much you can in a place like this.
He was eccentric, had all kinds of beliefs that weren't really safe for the children's ears, or anyone's for that matter. Funny though, and very intelligent, but it's unfortunate that he didn't use it better then and when he could.
Rumours say his little adventures led him afoot and off a cliff. That or he'd done it himself. But that ain't so. The prof was deaf to proud of himself and his work. He's missing, but I bet he's still alive. Wish I bought one of his books. They were his pride and joy, they were. Full of his geniusness.
Look, I really don't have the time to talk. Don't you understand that people have places to be? Professor Helfis... Why do you want to know about that old ridiculous geezer? That's so... Look, all I can tell you is that he was a genius, but a git. Now excuse me. Huh? Hey? There's no bloody way. There's no bloody way.
Oh, Mr. H. He was a charmer and a wonderful teacher, very passionate. Unfortunately, though, no one seemed to believe a word he said. Well, about his research. He travelled around the entirety of Montegano, searching for some sort of creatures, writing them down in his journals and books. One in particular contained all of his notes and information. Who knows where that went? Probably burnt to ask.
Look, It can't be. It's really... Are you sure? Of course I am. I wouldn't be. Their mind seems adrift. Not on the right river, so the professor says. They do not seem aware. No, look at their face. The eyes. The eyes tell. They see. They want the book. They want to know. Well then, best show them which way to go.
Cyrus, sorry. I didn't mean to keep it waiting. Well, this is the library, right? Gods above. I heard from a local that it used to be infamous, and now... it's so run down. Probably the most burnt and destroyed building in this town. I mean, it's practically decorated in ash. The pillars look like they're seconds away from crushing us. You okay, Cyrus? Me? I was inspecting the second bookstore when I then spotted a little brat holding onto one of Professor Helfisk's books. It taunted me, and somehow knew my name, so obviously I took after it. Unfortunately, that little brat escaped. You too? Two? Are you serious? And they led you here? Why do you suppose that is? Help? It's likely, but seems like they didn't really wish to stay. Maybe. It's a kid. Well, I thought it was, looking closer. Nothing. Ready to go in? Well, it's the last place. The bookshops had nothing. Every single one of them had around 8 to 20 books that were all burnt. Well, some were intact, but nothing else. I don't want to waste my breath running back to come back unsuccessful. You sound unsure. All right, let's go. Careful where you're stepping. The floorboards seem weak. Who knows what's underneath? Such a waste. Such fine pieces of literature. Gone. I can somehow recall reading some of these books. Once upon a time. And now, nothing but burnt corpses of fine words. What about the brats? True. There's not much they can do in a place like this. Must have been really heartbreaking for them and the other kids. The school seemed practically empty. And you seem distracted. Still thinking about the little monsters? Kids are strange. Their words never make any sense. Nothing. There's an office over there. It must have been the old librarians. I'll check it out to see if there's anything there. It's ironic how in a place that's supposed to be full of answers, all I find are more questions. Keep searching.
Isn't this a surprise? What can I do for you? Hard to find me, huh? You wouldn't be the first person to tell me that. But I suppose this office is quite well hidden, that I am very thankful for. The old librarian tells me that during the creation of the library, a secret wine trade business used to store their prized liquors underneath in its basements. Made the town quite infamous for a while. Well, until the service was called and, well, you know how the kingdom is. Any trace of something even remotely radical, and His Majesty's Council disposes them like that. And yet, here we are, waiting for Miss Fia to send the word. No. I checked and was left very disappointed. Yes, I'll let you know. You might want to watch your step.
Yeah? What is it? Are you serious? Huh. A trapdoor. Oh, I knew something was underneath. Here, take that lamp. Well, all the more reason. You okay? The lights are on. Holy shit. What is this? Basement. Looks like a gang hideout. So, the person you saw here is... I wonder what they're doing here. Best be on our guard. The professor? What about him? So he knew. The wine trade business, huh? At least that's some natural and less threatening excitement the town could do with. What's this one? Almost fancy like shipping boxes. God, they're heavy. So many. They're everywhere. And they're shiny, sweaty, and cold. The location compared to the other parts of this town seems like the perfect place to hide its truth. No wine. But books? All these contain books? Slightly damaged, but they're actually in reasonable condition. Banned. All of them. But why? The council. That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? What could they have to gain from trying to erase them? Like they never existed. Some of them seem so innocent. The books. Hang on. I found one. One of Professor Helfisk's. It's not the journal, but... What's that one? A history book? Well, that seems rather ridiculous. Why would they want to ban the history of the kingdom? The parchment of the news says so much about moving forward with the past, not from it. It's pinned to the wall. Over there. Near the desk, along with so many others. No, I haven't checked out the others yet. What do they say? Uh-huh. So it's not the first time they've had this sort of riot. But... does it say what led to it? Nothing. So many piles of parchment, notes, drawings, and still... not to mention the books. Some of these are children's books, and yet... it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I also found it strange that... no flashbacks. This place feels like it should jig something, right? This organization. Is that what we're calling it? It doesn't seem like the sort of thing a town such as this should have. It's extreme, intense. You make a good point. The wine trade must have been on guard, especially if the King's Court is so keen to abolishing alcoholism. But I wouldn't think they needed something like this for their business or protection. I know. I was surprised too when I found it. It was hidden amongst a bunch of other documents. They were numbered in stages. Radical plans must have been made here. Who knows? It's still rusty, but you can still use it. Jeez, this basement is never ending. I was honestly expecting something slightly more horrific.
What in the name of the gods are you two doing here?